Squeaky wheel gets the fucking. That's what my dad ever taught me. If he taught me one thing,
it sounds better.
It was how to tie a noose. So microtransactions, friends, countrymen, people who got locked out of the Taken King.
Okay, so this is brought up because both Destiny and Metal Gear Solid Online recently unveiled their microtransaction scheme.
I was amidst a monologue, sir.
Oh well, I interrupted your monologue for a better monologue.
Shut up.
If Ayn Rand told me one thing, it was quit. Be a quitter.
And
True.
Also, steal
Welcome
all
to
your roommate
Gameworx.
stuff. Be a quitter. Okay, yeah, so microtransactions. First off, I'd like to point out, in the general, and then we'll go to the specific. In general, microtransactions are a free-to-play fucking pay scheme. And that they're in any $60 game is immediately ridiculous.
Make, one point. Because, they are for free-to-play games. Because when you make a game, you need to design a profit stream. Any game needs to do this. Games that cost $60, games that cost $5, $1, free-to-play games. You need to make some sort of revenue stream, a way to get money. And the problem with Destiny having microtransactions, I'm going to put everything aside, all the little arguments. The problem is we paid $60 for it.
Yes.
And what this does is it sets up a precedent. You pay $60 to play our game. That's it. That's an industry standard. Not only is it industry standard, it's something that Destiny backed up by, selling us DLC in a very normal console-like way, right?
Yes.
They sold the DLCs for a flat rate. You get all the content that they made for it. That's it. So microtransactions, this late in the game especially, also this close to
the DLC.
To not only a DLC, but a $40 DLC. A DLC that's double the price of an industry standard. So, this is the issue, guys. Putting everything aside. Destiny showed us all these sorts of industry standards. We got this $60 video game. Fine, I will buy this video game. I like it. We have $20 DLCs. Fine, I'll buy the DLCs because I want to continue playing the game. Then all of a sudden, $40 DLC. Okay, well, I guess it's going to be big. And then it's, normal. And then 4 weeks after, everyone pays $40. Microtransactions.
Yes.
Whoa. Not only are you double dipping, if you consider the DLC that they just released to be a $20, a DLC worthy of $20, that's like triple dipping.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, it's also because I hear the argument a lot, right? Especially for things like Destiny, which are aesthetic DLC, not even getting into the Metal Gear Solid DLC, which is not aesthetic.
Yeah.
Even aesthetic DLC, people are like, you don't have to buy it. It doesn't affect the game. But especially in a social game like Destiny, it creates a culture of haves and have-nots. If you see someone doing a dance that you don't have, it's well, that's shitty, especially in a social game. Like Destiny, an inherently social game.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Even people in the industry were like, well, you don't have to buy it. Yeah, but you want me to. That's the idea. You wouldn't be doing this if you wouldn't put it out if you didn't want anyone to buy it.
Also, problem.
It's designed for us to want to buy it. Anything, I suppose, but even more so because we're socially pressured into it.
Well, yeah,
just
and
by virtue of playing it.
I hate this idea where you don't have to buy it. It's well, then why the fuck did you release it? You released it to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
You release it as a product. They can't, if you can't even back up your own product, having a reason to be a product. If you as the person providing this product are you don't have to buy it. Why is it a product? Why is it a thing?
True.
My issue with specifically Destiny, now that we get into the nitty gritty, is that Destiny from the start has been a game that critics have said has little to no content.
Yeah.
And the fact that you release a $40 DLC, which inherently, by industry standards says this is going to have double the amount of your average DLC, and then it has the average amount, which is sad because the other DLCs, everyone complained. It's we just paid $20 for a DLC and you didn't really give us that much, Then a $40 DLC comes out, and it's like, well, yeah, this is kind of what a $20 DLC is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
And then on the heels of that, you release more content, but you have to pay for it. And it's like, the fans, like hardcore fans of the game, won't care. They don't care.
Yeah, no.
But it's just sad. It's sad that they know that, and they're playing to it, right?
Yeah.
They're just like, they don't really care. They don't know how much content this game has. The game has a lot of replayability, but replayability is not content.
True.
And that's the issue. It's just not enough content.
And I also, like I see this argument a lot where people are like, you're entitled for wanting all this free shit.
Oh, God, I love it.
And it's like, okay, games are the most expensive media by far.
Oh,
like,
easily.
Movies are not even close.
Especially
to
with
how
streaming.
Expensive games are.
You know?
Especially what?
Especially with streaming. You can stream movies, you can stream TV shows. I don't really know of a service where you can really stream games. I think PSN kind of introduced one a while back. I don't think it did anything though. At least I didn't see it do anything. So.
No, they've been in the works for a while, but yeah, there's no major one right now or like super profitable one or anything. Mm-hmm. So especially like you were just talking about Destiny, like how many other DLCs besides the Taken King have come out?
So there's been 3 so far. Okay. There's been 2 $20 ones, and then the Taken King, which is $40.
The Taken.
So if you've bought everything, you've paid $140 for this experience already.
130. Oh, well, if you've played from the beginning, you most likely got the season pass, and you've paid $135.
Okay. Ooh, saved $5. I mean, there's probably gonna be more DLC, but still. Okay, yeah, say that you bought the season pass even. $135 plus, again, like VCRs and DVDs do not cost this much. Like to get the Xbox in the first place was probably several, like $400 or $500. Like
this is $350 for a stock.
This is an expensive medium because these games are so expensive to make. So that's fair that it's already a lot more expensive than a lot of these things are because it needs to be. Like, sure. But then you can't turn around and be like, but give us more money. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, we already spent like...
Especially when this game it's the largest budget that's ever been spent on a game. $500 billion.
Yeah.
And you're going to bring microtransactions into this?
And it's got the biggest budget and complaints of not having enough content. Like, that's a dangerous combination there.
My favorite picture I've ever seen about Destiny on the internet is 3 articles all right next to each other. And it's like... all three articles are about each DLC, right?
Yeah.
And it says, DLC 1, why it's going to finally fix what's wrong with Destiny. DLC 2, why it's going to finally fix everything. It's every single DLC comes out, and it's not like, hooray, this is a great DLC. It's finally we fixed all that shit. And it's sad. It's like, why are people still buying this?
Yep.
I got the good deal, right? I got the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
Which is $60. You pay $60 and you get everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is they force you to have the first 2 DLCs to play the third, which is strange, first off. And when you download the game and play it, you'll realize that you can't really access that DLC because it's pointless. There's been a paywall put up. Right? So if you don't have the Taken King, most of your content that you used to be able to play doesn't get you year 2 items.
Okay.
So it doesn't get you items that are relevant anymore.
Yeah.
So basically
it forces you to buy the new DLC. Basically.
Yeah, and if you don't buy it, you can't do all the old things that you could do that were bought in the original DLCs. Some of the things have literally been removed from the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fair.
And then some things were removed and then updated with the Taken King content to lock players out that didn't buy the original.
Yeah. No, okay, I heard about that, yes.
And so even if you've bought all the content, you've lost content. The old raids, some of the old strikes, you can't play them anymore because they're not relevant.
Yeah, because there's no other players there.
And so it's this horrible cycle of content and paywalls.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to abandon this ship.
And then they have the gall to be like microtransactions.
Yeah, it's just strange.
Which are the most immersion-breaking shit, too. That's
they really are.
They just, shatter, everything.
Yeah, it totally shatters the economy, too, in the game, because nothing feels like... It's like, this isn't real. You know?
Yeah.
This shit's real. They're calling it silver, I believe. Like, silver's real now. All this glimmer and all this fucking strange coins and shit, that's not real. That's bullshit, you know?
Yeah, because one represents real money.
And the other is, fake. But the entire thing is fake, right?
Which is a shitty thing. But yeah, it's a shitty thing to like be pulled into the fact that like, oh, I'm playing like a fake facsimile of the world because my life is sad and I hate everybody.
You know what embodies it? Well, when you put it
that way.
You know what embodies it? I don't know.
Oh.
I just forgot. Okay, you know what it embodies? Now I remember.
Yeah.
Good.
A cheap-ass video game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cheap-ass video games feel fake, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Games that have $500 billion budgets should not feel cheap.
Nope.
Should not feel like, hey, do you want this? Gotta pay $1. We really need that $1.
Well, also, here's the thing, right? Microtransaction systems aren't based on... Like, it's not like, hey, we're going to put this out and we hope everybody, buys like one or two. We're going to get $2 for each player. And, that'll add up to like several million. No, that's not how it works. Like, how it works is that usually, like, you'll get some people buying one, like a few people buying two, and then you'll get like 2 to 3% of the population buying like hundreds of dollars worth of microtransaction stuff. And like so it's like the business plan is specifically based on manipulating like a very small...
The addicted gamers.
Yeah, usually the most hardcore, people who like it the most, portion of your audience into paying like, probably not for Destiny, but in like a lot of cases like actually thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like that's why Candy Crush made so money, is because about 2% of people who play Candy Crush put literally thousands of dollars into it. They're called whales. That's the industry term.
What the fuck?
Yes, that is the industry term.
Or the...
The people, those 2% who pay thousands of dollars.
They call them whales?
That's the industry standard term. Whales. Yeah.
That's sad.
Nice.
No, yes,
and it's sad because, like, Destiny, it's all luck-based. It's very addicting. It's almost like gambling with your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, you play the Nightfall, right? It's
That's
like
some like future sci-fi shit.
Yeah,
right
I don't want to think about that. You play the Nightfall weekly strike, and so you get basically one rewards package a week. And sometimes it's the shit. Sometimes you get that gun you've been looking for a month.
Yeah.
And sometimes you literally get less than what you'd get in a normal raid.
Yeah.
In a raid that you could complete in like 20 minutes.
Yes.
It's totally addicting. It's totally gambling with your time. And so it's totally playing on those people that have no self-control, and it's sad.
Yeah, no,
it's sad because like you guys don't need that system, but it's gonna work.
It's a manipulative business strategy, yeah, and it's immoral at its core.
It actually
really is.
Gets worse. It gets worse because they released this statement early this week. I want to say Tuesday, and a lot of people were against it, but a lot of people defended it. Even people who aren't gonna buy the microtransactions, and that's because Bungie claims that the money that they make from these microtransactions will be devoted to developing future free DLC.
Right.
Which I read that.
Right.
I read that. Yeah, that's the first thought, right?
Yeah, and
I read that.
The money from a 5,000% drug price spike is
going to be made to develop more microtransactions.
R&D, right.
That's a good comparison, fact.
And so at first you read that and you're skeptical, right?
Yes.
But then you're also hopeful. It's like, well, okay, well, I'm not going to buy it, but at least I'll get free DLC. And then you remember that that's an unethical business practice. That guy who raised that one specific AIDS drug by 5,000%, he had the same reasoning, right?
Yes.
He said that he was going to use the money that he makes from the price hike to fund development for future drugs. And that was like not only like the fact the whole raising a drug by 5,000% is unethical, but paying for future costs using income generated from people currently paying for a product is unethical because it removes so many things. First of all, it removes investment. Instead of going and getting a loan to make your next DLC, right, you just fucking crowdsource it. You just take it straight out of people's pockets. And obviously that removes the whole risk of getting a loan.
Yeah.
So when you go get a loan, you have to at least have like a strategy. You have to go to a bank and be like, okay, look, we want, let's say, $500 billion was the original budget for Destiny. So they go and they have to give a good pitch. So some investor has to at least think, yes, this is worth giving you that money, right? We've removed that. We've removed that with the whole microtransactions paying for future content thing. Then you remove incentive to make a good product. Because if you already have the money in your pocket, you don't have to worry about people buying your product because they've already technically bought it.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
they're not paying for the DLC. They're paying for the microtransactions. So
even
you don't
if that
have
DLC
to use the money.
does exist, it won't be as good as the paid DLC.
Yeah.
Like it'll be smaller or worse, probably smaller.
You have the unethical practice of they get to make their own profit margin. So basically, they're like, let's say they make $200,000 from microtransactions. They basically get to put a tag on expenses. They're like, well, if we want to make, $100,000, let's spend $100,000. If they want to make, $199,999, they spend $1. They get to set their own profit margin.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Why would you ever let someone do that? And then fourth, who trusts Bungie anymore? And fifth, finally, they don't have any incentive to actually make that DLC.
Yeah.
As you guys already pointed out. They can just not.
Yes.
And they still have the money, so...
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna come up and take the money away from them for not making a DLC.
Yeah, exactly. You can promise all you want to fucking... They've promised us things in the past that they've just horribly just lied to us about. Told us, all your year one things, we want your invested time. We think that's important to us. We want you to keep your time invested with the game. Taken King comes out. Nope, only year 2 items are good anymore.
Yep.
Okay. If you download it, you get a special weapons pack. You get the weapons pack, and they're all guns for, basically new people. They're not, endgame content. Yeah. So they kind of just lied to you on that one.
Well, and also, power creep is inevitable, especially in games with, reoccurring guns and things like this. You're gonna have, first-order strategies that will, rise up, and you're gonna have to deal with that in some way by nerfing or putting out new guns, especially in, an MMO-style thing like this.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at World of Warcraft, the basis for, leveling and, stats is, 200% higher than it was when it came out. So, power creep is a thing that happens, and so, So one, saying that your year 1 items are always going to be good is just irresponsible because they know that's not true. Mm-hmm. They know there's no way to do that. There's no actual possible physical way.
Exactly, because you'll never know what's going to... day one when you put out your content, you have no clue what's going to be good a year from now.
Yeah. No.
You don't know what's too good, what's too bad. There's no way to know.
Well, and even if it's well-balanced, just because it's an MMO, over time, those year 1 items are not going to be usable anymore. There's just a fact of the matter.
Yeah.
And so, one, claiming that was irresponsible, and two, again, look at World of Warcraft, look at, Hearthstone, a lot of Blizzard things, they deal with power creep really well.
Which type of power creep are you referring to, by the way? Are you talking about year 1 items being overpowered because they didn't know the scale of their power? Or are you talking about year 2 items being way too powerful because they want to...
Because they always have to make something that's bigger and better.
Yeah, are you referring to that kind of power creep?
Well, I mean, just in any game, especially multiplayer games, there's a power curve and everything has to fall on that curve between usability and rarity, basically. Mm-hmm. And so when something is too powerful for how not rare it is, or other way around, that's a problem.
Right.
If something if you plot it on a curve, if something clearly falls above the curve, that's power creep. And so you have to you have 2 solutions. You either nerf that or you have to adjust the entire curve up.
Yeah.
And so items like that will always pop up because people will find ways to combine and use things. And so because of that, over time, your curve just goes up.
And see, this is the strange thing, though, because Destiny's been out for a little over 2 years. at this point. And they've made a really good system, and some people would say not a great system. It really goes both ways of nerfing and rebalancing and making sure things are good, making sure things are not shit. And
depends on which end of the stick you're on.
Yeah, exactly. When they got to year 2, they obliterated like all year 1 items. They like erased almost all of that content, including a lot of content that like exotic things are supposed to stay good always. Yeah. Because like the idea is that like they're good. You're only allowed to equip 1 exotic weapon. You're only allowed to equip 1 exotic piece of armor. The idea is that they are the best.
Yeah.
And they just chose not to bring some of the exotics to year 2. Some because they were too good, and I understand that. But really, you should just either A, make it worse, or B, make everything better. Some were just left behind for no discernible reason. Exotics that were either bad or exotics that were just kind of like there. That were, people thought they were good. No one thought they were, OP or anything like that. And it's just like, are you guys lazy? Do you guys just not care? Like, doesn't seem to be any discernible reasoning besides, well, Jim's not here today. I guess we'll just leave this exotic behind.
That was Jim's exotic, and well, he's off. He's sucking dick or something.
Oh, he's gone for the next week. It's ready to ship.
Taking King, more like taking
a dump.
They don't pay me enough for this.
Okay. Also, before we wrap this up, I would also like to point out the fucking Metal Gear Solid Online microtransactions.
Oh, God.
Which are even bigger bullshit than Destiny.
And that's hard. That's hard to do.
I've described these to you before, because there's like a system where you can raid each other's bases in Metal Gear Solid Online, and they're going to have microtransactions for base insurance, where when someone raids your base, they get to keep what they get, but you don't lose what they took.
Oh, right.
So
that's bullshit. So you basically just pay to win.
Yeah, 1, it's pay to win. 2, it's economy destroying. Like, that's inflation to the fuck ton right there. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because you can just be like, hey guys, I have insurance, so come raid me and I'll do nothing about it.
Yeah, right? 2, fucking, like, God damn it. It's just so upsetting. 2, it's insurance for things that are literally code. Like zeros and ones, like things that do not exist. You're actually, like, they bill it as insurance.
Is that a stick-up? I think this is a stick-up. Like, if you own the means to damage someone and then sell that insurance, I think that's a stick-up.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and also, like, you can't be competitive if you don't have that. Like, absolutely, like, there's no way. There's zero way to be competitive. You'd have to spend, like, literally all your time on that. Like, there's no way to be competitive in that game, at least in the online portion. Yeah, because
then at that point, there's no incentive to... I assume you have to, spend time defending and attacking other bases?
Yeah. You have to, like, set up defenses. Like, I don't think you physically do it yourself, but, like, you set up, like, shit.
So at that point, it removes the incentive to defend your own base, and you can spend 100% of your time raiding other people.
As long as
it's like a double whammy.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, it's really true. God, yeah, you can just pay to, like, whatever. It doesn't cover... I'm not talking about this like it's an actual fucking policy. So much bullshit this is. It doesn't cover, like, damage. It's only if, like, things get destroyed or killed. Which is, like, doesn't make sense. Like, literally just, like, put up a sign, like, hey, make sure to kill everything you take. Like, like, fucking, like, what? Oh, it's,
How much is this insurance?
I don't know, actually.
Is it like a one-time thing?
I'm not sure if it's out yet. I seriously
you gotta pay monthly.
Yeah,
like a deductible and shit.
But, like, actually, maybe though.
That's disgusting.
Konami is the worst company. I think everybody agrees with that at this point. But, like, oh man, we should do a whole fucking podcast on fucking Konami.
Is Konami the company that is no longer going to be making video games? Am I thinking of?
They said they were going to, like, switch to mobile games mostly. They're the ones that killed Silent Hills.
Go make your fucking pachinko game.
Which was pachinko, and they are the one that killed Silent Hills, which was going to be, like, the best fucking game.
Yeah, everyone was so ready for that. Yeah. Psych.
So yeah, it's just these industry things that are just like so clearly like just literally greed for a product that you already paid $60 fucking dollars for, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially when you're like pushing like fucking like millions of copies, you know? Like
it's tragic.
It's bad.
All right, well, I think that wraps it about up.
The phrase, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, that's the cue.
It's
Welcome to
poo-poo.
Gameworx.
All right, well, see you guys next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.
Halo 3 was good. We need to put it in context for Matt, the filthy, dirty PlayStation player.
Their story, which alone is something that most games struggle with, but also across mechanics and disciplines in the game.